Hi everyone, Trina here, and welcome to my radiation diary, day 5. I went and had my first 4 rounds of radiation for my meningioma grade 2 last week, and today then I have the weekend off, and then today I am going in to have my 5th treatment later this afternoon. So just a brief update. I've had no side effects whatsoever, and obviously relieved, but also I know that's expected. No one expecting any side effects so early on, and but nevertheless, it's encouraging, and 4 down, 29 to go. But just to let you know, I'm well and alive and kicking, and living my life as I normally do. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's some adjustments, like physically, that is happening because all of a sudden you have to go into hospital every single day, apart from the weekends, which I've enjoyed. So that's obviously a new everyday life that you have to get used to, and I also had to get used to. Right now, I am using all my time kind of prepping, meal prepping. So for days where, like today, where radiation is actually quite late in the day, I have some food I can just take up from the freezer and reheat, which is really convenient. But also for a later stage where there might be side effects, that will come in handy. So I'm using a lot of time on that at the moment, and just doing practical stuff. There's nothing that I have not been able to do that I normally do. So my life so far has been, apart from going to the hospital and back, has been very much the same as it normally is. Yeah, I mean, so obviously it's a weird spot to be in, because you still haven't got a clue what's in store for you. But I will say, I mean, all the stuff I do myself, all the action I take, I believe in, first of all, but also it shifts the control over to me somehow, rather than being in the passenger seat, that sense of being in control. And that's really important, for me at least. So I'm confident in a lot of the stuff I do, and that kind of helps keeping the fear away. Obviously, sometimes you think, oh, what's going to happen in 3 weeks' time, and am I feeling a headache now, etc., etc. But the thing is, I'm completely fine, and I will have to count on that. I will remain to be like that. I am very adamant doing my exercise. Yesterday I walked outside. It's snowing here in Denmark now, so it's quite beautiful and white. And I walked outside for 7 kilometers, and yeah, just relaxing as well. What I'm doing as well is I'm really ensuring to avoiding all the triggers, like what normally makes me dizzy, and where the spots where my brain is vulnerable already, which is texting, which is doing a lot of concentrated work, being in longer conversations with people, being in busy visual environments, reading too much, stuff like that normally makes me feel uneasy or unwell fairly quickly. And I'm very aware of not pushing any limits at the moment. So that's one of the things I do as well. I just really try and stay away as far as I can, not pushing it at all. And that's why when I cook as well, I do it very slowly, so I don't get confused, because normally my brain can't do many things at once very quickly, because then it will trigger something in my vision. So I'm really much more focused on my keeping my brain very calm, and resilient. Yeah, and then I think what I spent my days doing at the moment is prepping, as I said, for the meals, but also doing like really low cognitive, low challenging tasks, like tidying up cabinets, tidying up my flat, reorganizing stuff, doing some ironing, which I don't normally do, but just really calming projects. And that kind of keeps my mind off things. It's not because I'm in denial or anything, it's just I'm keeping busy, and that's also nice for the body. But one thing which is, I've seen this before, and this is a really interesting process, and obviously very natural to anyone going through a life crisis, you can call it, but that's a very negative word for it, because it can also be a life awakening. That's what I prefer to call it. And again, this is my third round in the rodeo, and it's rodeo, isn't it? Sorry, again, I'm Danish. So I've tried this before, not the radiation obviously, but this is my third tumor. So every time, first time it was very fearful. Second time I was prepared. I wasn't prepared for the tumor, of course, the recurrence, but I was prepared for the surgery and what to come. And I did a lot of things, which again, I'm doing now with the radiation. I'm kind of taking charge. It really makes a difference, but it also kind of begs to evolving your life. And I can feel it's the same process which is kicking in again now, which is me redefining. I'm in the process of redefining and reinventing my life. I did that second time around, and then everyday life kicked in. But I will not let that happen again. And so right now, mentally, now you know what I'm doing physically, but mentally I'm in that process at the moment, rethinking what am I going to do, because I do want to help others, I do want to guide others in the best way I can, and use some of the knowledge which I gathered over the past 3 years, and just to have some more meaning and purpose with my life. And I think that's a really interesting process, because that kind of comes along very naturally. It evolves next to all of this, and it's very nice to tap into. It's really nice to tap into, because it removes me from what's happening here to a spot in the future, which is really nice, and focus on, okay, what can I get out of this, which is positive. So that's happening alongside as well. And it's all, in thought process at the moment, but I will go back. I have a ton of notebooks from all my studies, and I will go back and reread them as well, and share some of it on here, of course, you already know a bit. I think I did the 9 steps mental health video that spilled the beans on quite a few of these things. But yeah, so that's just to say that's what's going on here. And thank you for watching. I will return to you in a couple of days. Now, I don't really do videos during the weekend because my daughter's home, and I only really do them when she's in school. So that's why you don't hear from me all of the time. But just to let you know, I'm all fine and well. Everything is going very smooth. The sessions itself, so quick. Nurses, amazing. I just go in, I have a top on, which is just a string top, and my jeans and everything, I don't wear lipstick, but that's it. But apart from that, I just go in, lie down, have the mask over. I am very light sensitive, so what I did is I found out how to, I can kind of prevent that, I've cut out some very light white fabric from a pillowcase of mine and put it over the eyes, and then the mask on top, and that kind of diffuses the laser light. But it's a very, very easy process. I mean, I get there and I sit in the waiting room, and I come a little bit, prior to my time, and I often get called in as well prior to my actual time, which I prefer because I go in fasting, and it's, before you know it, it's over. It's the same nurses, and they're really sweet, and I mean, you in, and 10 minutes later you're out, if that. So yeah, all going well, and fingers crossed it will remain that way. I'm very, very focused on keeping hydrated as well, but that I told you about that already, and focused on my exercise. So yeah, that was it for now, and I will go back to you. So far so good. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.